Well, welcome everybody. This is a live Q&A. This is done through Jitsi. Make sure that I got it going here. Here we are. And I'll send you the link here. And let's see. Oh, I got to do. I forgot how to do this. It's been so long since I've done it. More actions. I want to invite. Oh, invite more people. Okay, then I'm going to have to go over here and just hang on a second, guys. Personal message. Messages, new message. And we'll paste this. That didn't work. What the heck? Jitsi meetings. What the heck? I forgot how to do this now. Speaker settings. Invite people. That's what I want to do. Enter, enter, paste. Nope, that didn't do it. And where's a 12-year-old kid when you need him? Let's get rid of this. We can get rid of that. Any ideas, anybody? How do I invite people? I forgot. Security options. Password none. Things have changed here, I guess. Toggle tile view. What is this? Well, I can do it this way. Control C. We'll see if this works. I'm not sure. Go to the chat here and click on that link, and you'll be able to come in and ask me a question or whatever. Let's get to my channel over here so I can look at that in the background. Now, and we go here. Studio, videos, back to videos, live, should be up. Come on. Man, I'm really dragging it down. There we go. And we go here. Oh, shoot. I gotta make sure this is off. Okay, there we go. We got it in the background. Finally. Let's see. Somebody posted something there. It says, watching and sound is good. Hey, Craig. Go ahead and you can go into Jitsi and click the link in there and come in and turn your camera and microphone on and talk to me. I finally got this bench cleared off. It's been about a year. Let's see. I'll show you what I'm talking about. We'll look at the other camera angle. Settings. Settings. Well, that's what it looks like finally. The dust is unbelievable. I'm the only one in the meeting. It says settings. I turn it back to the other way. There we go. Come on in and join me so I can have a topic to talk about. I don't know why it's lower than the bit rate. Open the widget. Warning. Stream is healthy, but the bit rate is low. Oh well. So come on in and ask me a question, or you can type it in here, because this is entirely for you guys. I mean, I'm not working on anything tonight. I'm just kind of kicking back and wanting to talk with you. I guess I could, there we go. Copy meeting link. There we are. The dial-in number is 512-647-1431, and the PIN number is, well, I can just copy it. You want to call in and talk to me? Let's see. US 512, there we are. Control C. If you want to call in to talk to me instead of going online, you can dial that number, and then you have to enter PIN number. I wonder if I can copy that. Nope. No. The PIN number is 23256994448#, and that'll get you in. It looks like we got somebody maybe coming in here. Or something happened. Oh, a fellow jester. There we are. Give me a question, or you're going to have to turn on your camera. And unmute your mic and turn on your camera, fellow jester. Settings. Profile. Sparky. Sparky. Well, I have somebody in the meeting, but now they're out. I don't know what happened there. They didn't get their camera going or what have you. But I'm in the in Stunhanger West right now. Good to be back in my shop. I haven't been here too much in the last year. I've been working in the closet, and I built that airplane in the closet. No, I didn't. Yeah, I put it together in the closet, but I painted it here, and I put the Tucker together in the closet, and I did another Junar in the closet. What else did I build over there? A ringmaster. Oh, my little Tucker. So I built the big Tucker, the little Tucker, and two of those, and a profile. What else did I? Oh, 5 voodoos, and heck, it was pretty interesting. Would you like to see the Tucker progress? Yes, connected with Jitsi, but I'm on my phone and I'm moving about finishing a plane. Okay. Would you like to see the big Tucker progress? I'll show you that. Yeah. Well, this is where we're at with this. I don't know how. I don't have a whole lot of room here. I got stuff sticking up here. I don't want to drop it on an airplane or anything. The base is done. And went out and bought some 600. I'm going to color sand it. I got to wait till I get back to get the stencils on it and start laying it out in red. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do because it's starting to pick up weight again. I don't have a whole lot of wiggle room unless this thing gasses off some. So it's all together, except for the cockpit is not done. That'll, that adds some. Let me set this thing down. Shoot. All right, we're back. Let me turn this here. I got all kind of lights and arms, and I got 10 times the room here than I do in Dayton. So this is a lot more comfortable to work on. I got my compressor here and grinders and belt sanders and saws and table saws and all that stuff. So it makes it a whole lot better. So go ahead and ask me a question in here, and I'll try to discuss a topic. You can go on Jitsi and come in and talk to me. And that can be reached right here at this link. Paste. Have your camera and microphone available, and or you can call in on the phone number that I sent. I don't understand what's up with YouTube. It keeps saying the bit rate is too low. I guess I could stream it over OBS, where I got control over it here. I'm using their software, and it says it's still too low. I don't know what to tell you. Huh. I wonder if I go to Classic, if that would help. I don't know. When you don't do enough of this stuff, I'm not on here all the time. I don't have a constant flow of how things work. So I did, you know what? I got another header like that back in Dayton. I didn't realize I had two of them. I got another one of these headers here. This is a wraparound Super Tiger 60 exhaust manifold, so that you can put this on your engine and put a pipe on a 60. Not a good idea. However, I do have another header here that goes on an OS-32F. Back in the 90s, I built this airplane called the Sorcerer, and I ended up selling that to Fox Manufacturing, John Lowry, who has since passed away. But it was an OS-32F, early 90s, about 91, 92, whenever the 32Fs first came out. And it kind of looked like a Crossfire. It was a jet looking up. Yes, I do sand the clear as well and then polish. Yes, I sand down to 5,000 grit sandpaper. Back to the OS-32F. I'm going to build another one of those. I found another radial mount motor. Okay, why sand the clear? Let me finish this story, Craig, and I'll get to it. I'm going to build another Sorcerer. It's an OS-32F on a pipe using 11.45 prop at 10,000, 12,000 RPM. Okay, why do you sand the clear? Let me get a pen. Let's see here. This has all been covered. I even believe by me. Let me get this camera here. And now we need to change the view. That's good. Change the view. Settings. Camera. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. When you paint, you're going to have, this is the surface you're on, and your first layer of paint goes on. It goes on with bumps on it, especially if you use a brush, like so. Then you're going to spray on another coat of paint. And there'll be these lumps sticking up. And in order to make it shine to a high gloss, you take sandpaper between each coat and you knock those bumps, valleys down, so that this is going to be exaggerated, so that these bumps get filled with paint. And then you're going to sand the tops off until it's all flat. And then when you polish it, it shines like a mirror. I hope that makes sense. Settings. Webcam. Back to that one. Okay, there we go. Did that answer the question? Now, because dope is plastic, it's nitrocellulose, it's melted film, basically. After you've sanded your airplane flat, and you buff it, even if you hand buff it, you need to bring the temperature up in the paint to melt it all together. So when you're rubbing with compound or whatever, you're actually moving the material so that it's all flat. And then you put on the polishing compound. I need to turn this a little bit more this way. You put on the polishing compound. Yes. Sand between each coat of paint. Now, John uses 500 sandpaper. I only use 320. But I don't mind the sanding at the end so much. Where I'll start out sanding my clear. I wonder, would that be better? I can't tell. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess I could turn that light off, the overhead light, or one of these lights. There. We turn the overhead off over here. Get some of the glare out of that. It's this one. I'm in the dark now. Let's try to turn this down a little bit. Shoot, that ain't no good either. How about there? Nope. Let me turn the light back on. I can't see what I'm doing. I guess I can turn them all on. Actually, that's better. Yeah, that's better. I turn a different light on. I have some lights in this shop. Some bright lights. If you look there, you can see an overhead fluorescent. There's a fluorescent every other spot. But let me get back to the sanding of the clear. Sand between each coat. I use 320. And when you get the color on it like that, I'm going to color sand with 600. Do you know anything about a KMB 61 from Mecca? I have two of them. Are they good motors? Thanks, Dan. A KMB, it's kind of like, are you sure it's not this motor here? Are you sure it's not that motor right there you're talking about? Does it look like that? That's a 61 Merco. MERCO, 61 Merco. If it's that motor, I know a lot. I got a whole pile of them over there. This motor is runs just like a Super Tiger 60. The problem is, if you look at the venturi size of this, looks to be about 3/8 of an inch diameter ID. Oh, it's a Vico copy. Very similar. Well, all you can do is try to run it, see if it's loop scavenge or snurl port. You know, how does it run when it's in a wet 4? But if you look at the diameter of this hole here, it's very small. It takes fuel to make power. And the more fuel you use, the more power you're going to make, the more British thermal units, BTUs, you're going to put out, the more fuel you put in. There's a give and take to that. If you open this hole up really large, I guess you could put a Venturi in it with about the same diameter baffled ring. It should work. It should be fine. If you open this hole up to make more power, you're going to have more weight in the fuel. So, like a PA6 or PA75, they run just like a Super Tiger 60. They got way more power than a Super Tiger 60. However, it takes 8 ounces of fuel, and if you're going to run 15 or 20% nitro, it might take 10 ounces of fuel. I don't know. Whereas Super Tiger 60 can get through a pattern in 6 ounces. I like the 60s. Just, I don't know. I'm nostalgic, I guess. I don't know. They run good. They got plenty of power. People don't like them because it's not piped. I'm out of the trend setting stuff. You know, I saw the pipe motors fly, and I had to have. First, I started out with 61s, and I had 61s in my Thunderbolts. And man, I smoked one in a season. I completely burned it up because I had it opened up all the way and the pipe shortened up as far as it would go, so that I could make a gob of power. Because you're trying to pull a fuselage that's that big around, you know, that big around, and it's got a great big hole in it, and you're trying to pull this big frontal area airplane around, so you had to make power. So I had 61s, and I jacked them way up, running 15% nitro, and you know, just making gobs of power. Yeah, they were all right. They detonated a lot. You could hear them spark knocking as they flew, knock, 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 knock. Especially in the summertime. Anyway, so I stepped up to a 65. Now the 65 is better than the 61 because it's the same 40 size case, but has more power. But it does take more fuel. So the trade-off is more power, more fuel, more weight. So then I decided, well, we'll get the 75. And so we got more power and don't have to work the engine that hard. I was running a 15.45 propeller on my last Thunderbolt with a PA75. And you could run that thing slobbering rich, and it wouldn't run away from you, it wouldn't wind up, and that was the way to go for me. Now, Dave Fitzgerald, he runs a 75, but he's got the scavenge ports blocked off, and they run a little tiny propeller at high RPM. Well, why do that? Why have a big old heavy engine if you're not going to use it to its full potential? So anyway, can you use FAI, methanol, and castor on which motor? Any motor can be set up to run on straight FAI fuel. You just change the compression. The more nitro, the lower the compression. That means you got to add head shims. And the more nitro you run, the more fuel it's going to use. So you got to open them up. You know, you can make anything run on whatever. Anyway, back to my trend setting days. So I saw the 75 as a valid option, and I went ahead and got that, and it did work well. But I'm a guy, I can't handle that brick in the nose. So I was at I think it was the 2006 Nats. Uh, oh, no, I can't remember his name. Anyway, I asked one of the guys, could I fly his barnstormer? And it was electric. Can you make Super Tiger 60s run on methanol? Not really, because it's a ring motor. Now you could make mine run on methanol because it's a Brian Gardner ABC motor. So anyway, Jeff Traxler let me fly his barnstormer, and I flew that, and it was electric, and boy, it had a gob of power. I go, man, I got to have one of these. So after that Nats, I came back, and if you look at the windy tape of that year, I showed my 48-ounce Viper 8. Well, I bought all electric stuff, and I spent a bunch of money on batteries and chargers and stuff, and revamped that airplane into electric. And I flew it a few times, and it was, it was all right. Electrics have their problems that I don't know where they come from. This airplane, it flew good when it had the PA-65 in it. Of course, it was 48 ounces, and it flew good with a PA-65 in it. But I put the electric in it, and it started hunting. And I couldn't figure out, well, what's wrong with it? What am I doing wrong here? So anyway, the motor mount finally gave way and hit the ground. I took the wing out of it, and I built that electric profile. Excuse me. Anyhow, so I decided, well, I'm going to build some purpose-built electric airplanes because I like to be a trendsetter too. Hunt was convincing me to go electric and this, that, and the other. And okay, we'll try it. So I built 5 purpose-built electric airplanes. A couple of Crossfires, a couple of Vipers, 3 Vipers and 2 Crossfires. They all had the same inherent problem. That concentrated weight of that battery is just like taking a red brick off the front of your house and sticking it in the nose of your airplane. So I didn't like that feeling. And people say, well, you can move the center of gravity back. It doesn't matter where you put that brick. I can still feel it in the airplane. It's, that concentrated weight. So I got to thinking back to the late 90s. Yeah, I went all in. I kept thinking about the late 80s and early 90s, when I had Jimmy Casale's Spectrums, Super Tiger 60s, and they were 59 ounces. I got a picture of it. I found it. And I'll get it for you. It's handy. At least I think it's handy. Yeah, maybe not. No, shoot. When you know it, when you want to find it, you can't. Oh, well. No, can't find it. Anyhow, I had Jimmy Casale Spectrums, and they had Super Tiger 60s in them. And they flew really good. And I had some SVs with some 60s in them, but they were all under 60 ounces. So that's when I come up with, you know what, I'm going to get rid of all this electric stuff. And I flew a 75 last year at the Nats because Charles wanted to fly. And I wanted him to have a decent airplane to fly, so I let him fly this one, but I flew my 75 airplane. And I really don't like that feeling. So I've gone all back in on Super Tiger 60s. Of course, these 60s that I run are high Zoot, Brian Gardner rebuilt 60s, new bearings, and so on and so forth. And they work different. They have more compression. I believe the port timing's the same. I'm not quite sure. They run good though, so that's all that counts. But you only need 6 ounces of fuel, so you have. Now think about this. You got 6 ounces of concentrated weight, as opposed to 10 plus ounces for the battery. So that's that is a huge feeling. Yeah, Rojets are still available, 61 and 65s. You can call Dub or you can call Richard Oliver. The problem with a Rojet is it's a 2-piece case. And you'll get this from the Rojet guys. They're always oozing black goo. And that black goo is working metal. So you have 2 pieces. The cases are together. Now, it's not, it sounds like, bad or whatever, but they're always shifting like this, even if it's microscopic. And that's where the black goo comes from. And the PAs are a 1-piece case. It's a cast case, just like this case, of course. This is a turd motor, but this is heavy. The Mercos and the Super Tiger 60s interchange as far as the bolt pattern and the shaft length goes. So you can put this right in where a Super Tiger goes, but you give up an ounce of weight. And when you get fanatical, you want to make sure you can get every ounce you can out of your airplane. Hey, if you want to join the stream, all you have to do is click the link in the chat box, have your camera on and your microphone on, and come on in and talk to me. Or bring up another topic, and I will discuss that topic with you. We talked about Rojets, we talked about clear sanding, we talked about Vicos or Mikoas. Be happy to. Yeah, Richard Dollar does disappear every now and then. I know where to find him though. You can get a hold of him on the forum. He'll answer his messages. Got to have a soda. Boy, it's nice to have it right next to you. Anyway, so somebody ask a question, I'll give you an answer. Whether you like the answer or not, I don't know, but I'll give you the answer that I think. Without audience participation, this Q&A doesn't work. It's only answers. So it's either come in and ask me the question or type the question in the chat box. Yep, they do run good. It's a beautiful piece. It's all billet. What do you know about OS engine or nitro engines converted to spark system? Well, let me take a stab at this. No, they're going to have to run methanol. You'd never get it. You can't get it. You can't get a glow motor to run on gasoline because you'd have to have crankcase oil. And seeing as that a glow motor gets its bearing oil from the oil in the fuel mixture, you'd have to run fuel with oil in it. So I don't know. That's kind of out of my realm, but spinners, prop extensions, and ball link connections. Where do you get them? Well, we've been making our own extensions, and the spinners, they're a tough commodity now too. Randy Smith had a real nice spinner that he sold. You know, I've got probably 10 of them, maybe 20 of them. I even have some old Froome and some old Vico spinners. You can go on, not Alibaba, but oh, what the heck's the name of that place? The RC. I can't even remember now. I must be it's getting bad to get old. What the hell is the name of that place? I don't know. You buy all the RC stuff from it. You can get some carbon fiber spinners on there, but they're not as good as Medusa. And seeing that Medusa went out of business, that stuff. I have a Windy spinner mold. You can mold your own. I made some spinners. I did some videos a while back on molding spinners. It's pretty easy to do. Hobbyking, that's exactly right. Yep, you can get spinners from Hobbyking. I get the carbon spinners from Hobbyking. Ball link connectors, you can get them from Stunhanger Hobby. You can get them from Dubro. They're basically all the same. One thing that I would like to find, and John and I have talked about it, is a ball link ream. And I guess the helicopter guys use those. And you pop the ball out, the 1/4-inch ball out, and you put a reamer in it, and it reams it a few thousandths sloppier. Because one bad thing about ball links is when the weather changes, and especially at the gnats, it gets humid, it's humid out, and the weather changes, they get real stiff and they lock up. I don't know, how to get away from that. Now, I have went away from ball links. Yeah, John Brodak, and we do miss him. But he doesn't have any 2-inch spinners left. He has some 1 3/4 spinners left, like the Randy Smith spinner, but they're pretty pricey. They're like $26. I guess it's not really pricey when a guy like me will pay $100 for a Casminato carbon fiber fuel tank just to save an ounce. But to me, it's worth it. I just wish Medusa would come back online and we could get some good Medusa spinners. Those people that make the Yatsenko spinners make a beautiful product, but I don't want a 3-inch spinner. That spinner is so light, it's just unbelievable. Huge. It's 3 inches in diameter, but weighs nothing. All my dope products come from Wix Aircraft, which is Randolph. I just made another run over there on the way back to pick up some more thinner. Do not use cheap thinner in your dope. It will kill your finish. Cheap thinner is only for cleaning the gun. Try to use at least 60% thinner. And if you use my finishing method where you get 1 quart of clear and 1/2 pint of color, and that's it, you'll be all right. And sand between each coat. I'll take that white airplane and sand it before I put the red on it. What I need to do before I do anything is to get the stencils on it because it's all back masked. Try real oil for fishing reel, or real oil on your bowlings. Keeps them loose in the heat. I tried dry slide on it, which is a graphite throttle cable, motorcycle throttle cable lubricant. I just did a ball reamer, but I quit using ball links anyway. I went back the old way, bushed horns, brass bushing, except when you use a adjustable slider on the elevator horn, which John and I ought to get together and make an adjustable slider for a non-ball length horn. Just need to make a little piece for it. But that real oil might be something to look into. But what I'm going to do on the Tucker is I'm going to do the Dr. Pepper stencils. I'm going to place the Dr. Pepper stencils on the airplane. Then I'm going to sand it. Yeah, I think so too. I'm going to sand it and then tape it off I'm going to sand it with the decal, the stencil already placed on the airplane, so I know where not to sand. Because I don't want to sand through the white. This white that's on there is the base for the letters. So wherever's going to be white, I need to get taped off so I don't sand there, and then go ahead and sand it with 600, just about all off, really. I'll sand it way down because I want to try to save some weight. I already called and was rethinking my paint job to paint it white with red Dr. Pepper logo on it instead of red with white Dr. Pepper, but I just don't think that'll look good. So I'm going to keep the red real thin, and I'm going to try to sand some of the white off. So we're going to color sand that white, which is wet sand, and then put the red on over that. I'm going to do it like I was originally going to do it. Now I'll eat the bullet, and if I don't make 58 ounces, I'll cry. But often, I'll lose a ½ ounce or whatever, because it is about an ounce per coat on the airplane. So if I'm at 55 now, which is where I'm at, that's all the parts together. The airplane, if I stopped right now, put the airplane together and flew it as is, it'd be 55 ounces. It's going to take at least an ounce of color, so that's 56 ounces, and there'll be at least 2 ounces of clear, so that's 58. So we're cutting it really close. Of course, then again, I'm weighing it with a clunk tank, which weighs 2.5 ounces, and a cast tank weighs the masking film I use is called Oramask. Oramask Stencil Film 813, really low tack stuff. That's what I use in my plotter. It doesn't leave any film behind. Is the audio okay on this? Because I'm using the laptop's computer microphone setup. Anyway. Yeah. What's awesome stuff? Aura mask? It's about, oh, loud and clear, great. That Aura mask runs me about 40 bucks for a roll, and a roll will last me and my friends about a year. And that's getting all the numbers cut and all the names cut. Great, Steve. Audio sounds great. That's good. This is that new laptop, and I'm just using it straight out of the box the way it is. I probably shouldn't monkey with it because Microsoft or whoever built this thing knows better than I do anyway. Don't be a mechanic. Don't fix it till it's broke. Anyway, we've been on here 51 minutes. Actually, I've ended up talking to myself for an hour again. I think if this is how it's going to go, I'm going to just use I won't even use the Jitsi. I'll just use the live stream camera function on this thing right here, and we'll see how that works. That might be even better. I don't know. Oh, getting late. Midnight. Yeah, it's a little black box with a bunch of stuff inside it. You need a 12-year-old kid to operate it. Because I'll guarantee if there was some porno or a game on there, he could whip it out. Quick as snot. Anyway, I got a week's worth of work in my Tucker, and so we're all caught up on the finish. That airplane started 3 months ago, 1 hour a day until it was framed, and when I come here to the west side, where I have to make hay when the sun's shining, I really put in some time. I mean, I stay up in this room until it's done. And right now it's done as far as it's going to go. I ended up fixing the Junar so that I can fly that at the gnats, but I don't have my stencil cutter here. So I'll have to take it back to Dayton and put the numbers on it. But it's going that way anyway to get close to the gnats, because Dayton's only an hour away from the National. Here I'm 5 hours away, so. I want to talk about this. You know, we talk about different things. This is Great Plains fine line tape. It's about $5 to roll. Yeah, it is, Tom. It's about $5 a roll. Don't bother. It's total junk. Comes in 8 1/4. I got about, I don't know, 10 rolls up there. This is just, this bit of advice that I'm going to give you is just like the thinner. Don't waste your money on buying cheaper stuff. Let's see how many rolls I got here. I got 1, 2, and I've already been through, I don't know, 3 or 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rolls. Yeah, no doubt. 13 rolls, because there's an extra one hanging here right now. If you don't believe me, I'll show you. We got these partials, but we got 13 rolls in total of this Great Plains fine line tape at $5 a roll, or whatever it is. You have to look at on the Great Plains. I think it's $5, $4.80 or something like that. It's not worth it. You couldn't give me this stuff. It's been hanging here now 5 years. It doesn't turn the corner. It doesn't stick down. It leaves residue. This was Tom Morris recommended me to use this. I like Tom, but you can't be cheap when it comes to your paint job. Your paint job is gonna cost what it costs, and you just have to grit and bear it. Or you can use blue fine line tape at $15 a roll and have a nice, crisp, clean edge. So you can have 12 rolls hanging on the wall, or 1 roll that you use and is gone. So buy the fine line. Don't be cheap. Don't be cheap on the thinner. Don't try to use 3608S. It doesn't work. People say it does. It does not work as good as the thinner that's meant for the dope that you're using. Use the cheap thinner to clean the gun, and leave the Great Plains tape at Great Plains. Don't waste your money. What else we got here we could talk about? Good tape is very important. I found a good tape and I buy this on Amazon. You're going to need a good crepe tape. This is 3M automotive refinish tape. This stuff ain't cheap either, but I buy it in a sleeve. I think you get 10 rolls or whatever. Of course, I get it on my Amazon account, so you know it arrives tomorrow when I order it. So, but this stuff will stick. Believe it or not, this stuff. When I was a kid, we didn't have blue tape. I found that I could use pinstripe tape from, the plastic tape you use on pinstriping as a fine line, or could use electrical tape. But as a kid, we didn't have fine line tape. All we had was brown masking tape. And I would go to the field, and these guys would have such pretty lines. And the trick to that is that you lay this tape down, and then you spray clear over it, and then you spray the color over it, because invariably the paint would wick under the tape. Well, this tape sticks so good that it will tape a clean line with no clear. So, but your paint had better be good on the base. You better have used thinner in it, because it will pull the paint up all the way down to the wood. So if you don't want that sticky, you just take it, unroll it, pull a strip off, stick it on your shirt a couple of times, and then stick it down, and it'll come up okay. But I wouldn't advise that if you're painting red, because red will find every nook and cranny. Especially if you got painting red on a white airplane that isn't stuck down. It'll just suck right under there, and you'll be crying. Well, we've been on an hour. I appreciate you watching. For all you guys who aren't a member, this week I didn't get a members video up, and I do apologize. But I haven't been home in 6 months, so I decided that I would come home and I'll get a video up when I get back to Dayton for the members. But the members only videos, I don't know, they're kind of neat. I mean, do you cut out the fuselage and drop the wing in? Nope. Nope, I don't do it either way. You slide it in with the clearance hole for the platform like Randy Smith does. No, if you go back and look at some of my videos, I think this last airplane was put together on a Saturday at John's. I need to go through and add those to the timeline of the Mega Tucker. No, I cut my airplane in two pieces, the front half and the back half, and I stick it on the front half on the wing, and then I stick it on the back half and glue the two fuselage sides together, and then line it up and glue it together. It's real simple. I've been doing that now 10 years that way. I used to do it the old way, like was shown in the green box number, where you cut the bottom of the fuselage out and you pull the bottom out and then put the airplane together and set the bottom back in it. That works. I don't like it as well as taking the fuselage apart front to back. You just make some, stiffeners to hold it together, hold the fuselage together. I've been thinking about doing it like Wendy does, where I cut the front and the back at the high point of the wing. So you got 4 cuts, but the cuts are only a 1/4 inch, because that's all the farther it is from the high point of the wing to the datum line, and from the high point of the wing down to the bottom of the fuselage is 1/4 inch on top and up to an inch on the bottom, but usually it's anywhere between a 1/4 and an inch. And then just lay it down upside down on the bench and stick it together. It goes so quick it's ridiculous. And try to watch Bob Hunt's Perfect Fit Fuselage video. That's about the best way that you can get the wing to fit. That's about the best way you can get the wing to fit. What he does is he takes the rib. He uses foam, but if you're a guy that doesn't have a foam cutter, like most people don't, I have access to foam cutter. I got one in the corner, and we got a big feather cut at John's. But you can take the rib that's going to lie underneath the fuselage and trace that on a piece of paper, and then add your sheeting dimension to that. So if it's 16, yep, it's lined nice and straight too. You can cut a balsa wood rib. You could do it that way. Cut a balsa wood rib to the rib size, which is second over from the center line of the wing. And then, no, getting the push rod in is not a challenge either. I'll tell you how I do that in a second. Then add sheeting around that rib. Then set that rib on the center line where your rib goes on your fuselage. Cut to the inside of the line, so you're going to leave the line on. And that should fit in the fuselage opening, and the wing should fit perfectly with no slop, no extra holes. And if it is an extra hole, it'll be very minimal. You're going to fill that with super fill on the inside and super fill on the outside. That way it becomes monocoque and becomes one piece. You have a stiffener. Your bell crank is suspended between two compression spars sticking out past the balsa wood. And after the wings in, you're going to put in another piece of plywood between the two fuselage sides, so that locks the fuselage to the wing. There's just no way it could come apart, and you have a nice fit. The wing fitting to the sheeting, and then of course I superfill all that inside and outside, so it all becomes one piece, very similar to a I-beam wing, where the wing is built right on the fuselage. You guys understand how I-beam wing works, right? I hope. Really simple to do. They're absolutely the straightest way to do it is an I-beam wing. I don't think you can build a straighter airplane on I-beam. If your table's flat, your airplane's straight. It's perfectly in line. Now, getting the push rod in can be a challenge too. Absolutely not. All I do is, after you get the airplane together, you don't have your tail on, you just turn it right side up. The push rod goes in from the front to the back. You hook it onto the flap horn, and you lift it up, and then hook on the push rod to the elevators, and then set it down. Do not glue your elevator stabilizer in the airplane until after the top block is on. Let's see, very straight for sure. And then just connect your elevator horn to the push rod. It's real simple. I mean, as I've stated so many times on this channel, if it's difficult, you're not doing it right. This is total child's play. The thing that makes a good airplane is the practice in sanding. The shaping and sanding and learning how to candle and being willing to sand your ass off because it's all sanding. And you think, well, my sanding's done on this airplane. No, it ain't. Not even close. Not if you want a super, super nice finished airplane. Because that mirror finish comes from sanding. And that's where you get your shine from, is sanding. Well, guys, hour and 7 minutes. I've been babbling by myself. Thanks for sitting in with me. I hope you learned something. And maybe I'll be back on tomorrow. I don't know. So we'll see where we are. I mean, if you guys want to see me sand, because that's what I'll be doing all day tomorrow, is sanding. So, till I see you tomorrow, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.